What is happening, Marvel fans, Spider-Man fans, movie fans alike? Welcome back to the channel. I am Dial. This is another edition of my live. And today, we are back talking about your favorite cinematic universe, the Sony Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man, what used to be called the Sony Picture Universe of Marvel characters. Now they call it the Sony Spider-Man universe, the BS universe, the Sony verse, the weird ass verse,
garbage verse,
the garbage verse, the all that stuff. We're back talking about these freaking movies. But on the positive side, this possibly will be the last we have to talk about this character. Today we are talking about the third installment of the Venom films, Venom: The Last Dance. It's over! It's over, ladies and gentlemen! Finally!
For now.
Oh God! Well, for now, yeah, that's right. We got Craven next month.
Yeah, we still got that piece of crap coming out, but
yeah, possibly him eating shit.
Yep, and
Sure.
hugging animals, because that's what Craven is now, huh? He's an animal lover, right?
Yeah, apparently.
But yeah, we are hopefully for the last time talking about Venom. Yeah, Venom: The Last Dance came out this past weekend. And joining with me today, once again, I have from Blue Cinema, we have Blue Jay.
Hi. I couldn't even think of a funny thing to say. I just said hi.
Yep, that's as much effort we're going to put into this stream, because that's how much effort this movie wants to put in. And also joining with us today, once again, we have Darkness Under the Wind.
What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? I know I've mainly been showing up on Marvel stuff. I really do want to show up to like DC stuff eventually.
Yeah, Mr. DC guy always showing up on the Marvel stuff, which I appreciate.
I know. Weirdly, it's like for some reason Fate wants me to join in on the Marvel streams. Whenever there's a DC stream going on about spoilery or anything, I'm always busy doing something. I'm like, fuck, why? Why every time?
Well, you will have your chance, because I will do a spoiler stream for the Penguin when it's finished airing.
Yes. Please invite me on for that, please. I'm loving that show. Please,
Go
I
show.
I need to be on there for that, please.
Oh, don't worry. I will extend the invitation. Don't you worry.
Please, I'm begging you. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. If you don't do it, I swear to God.
Oh God.
Oh God. Man. Okay.
No more Sonyverse, please. Oh God, no.
It kind of started off a little dark right there. A little dark.
Well, he brings what's advertised.
Yeah. No. I know. Whenever there's shit, I will try to bring as much begging for it to stop. Just like, no, please don't. I'm begging you, stop.
And definitely will have you on when Creature Commandos comes in too.
Yes.
I'm excited for that.
Just saying for right now though, Creature Commandos has a lot to do when it comes to what's going on with Penguin. So just saying, not saying it's gonna be bad, but it's got some DC competition when it comes to TV. So, ay.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get into the festivities, look at the chat, and we have Isaac. It's been a minute since we've seen you, man. Good to have you back. He said, hi, Blue Jay, Donathan the Wind. How are you guys doing?
Well, doing good, man. Doing
all right. Doing all right.
And then he says, I am not excited for Kraven the Hunter. Cool. That's it. Rated R, but not.
I think he's saying it's cool that it's rated R.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he's saying like it's cool that it's rated R, but he's not excited for it. Yeah, similar feelings, man. Similar feelings.
Yeah. But hey, the highlight of when it comes out, we're getting Creature Commandos, the start of the DCU. So you don't have to worry about Kraven. You can just go into Creature Commandos and not worry about that.
Right. And hell, go see Sonic the Hedgehog. Go see Sonic 3.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Yes. And a bunch of other stuff coming out not too not too far from it. Because we're about to get Gladiator 2, we're about to get Minions, we're about to get Moana 2. So a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. But yeah. Well, why do we say? What do you say? Let's get into this. Let us finally talk about Venom: The Last Dance. And as always, we have to remind the viewers out there, this is a spoiler-filled discussion. This movie came out this past weekend, so if you're one of those people that haven't seen Venom and you don't want to know anything about it, go watch it, I guess. And come back and listen to this. Or if you're one of those people that don't want to see the movie and you just want to hear spoilers from us, hey, that's totally fine with us. Thanks for the views. Thanks for hearing our opinions. But and let's be honest, is there really a lot to spoil with this movie? I don't think so. But
I know. I've seen quite a bit of it, and I do know the ending for sure. So,
well, yeah, you guys have been warned from this point forward. If you don't know anything, spoilers on. Here we go.
Yep, get the noose ready, y'all.
Yep. So, y'all know what it is. The Sony Spider-Man universe sucks. It freaking sucks.
Yeah.
I know there's people out there that want to defend the Venom films. There's a lot of people that are fans of the first two Venom movies. And yeah, but pretty much that.
Yeah.
So
get the news ready, y'all.
Yeah, look, I know there's people out there that like the Venom films, and if you guys enjoy the Venom movies, that's completely fine. But
more
for
power
me,
to y'all. More power.
Yeah. But for me, it's not it. It's not it, man. I really tried, but those first two Venom movies I just thought were so obnoxious. I thought they were dumb. The plot just didn't make a lot of sense. They were boring. And for just people giving it a pass because it looks slightly better than Topher Grace from Spider-Man 3. Okay, but that shouldn't really be the metric of how good this Venom movie is. Not to mention the fact that they're making these Venom films without Spider-Man when Spider-Man is the reason that Venom exists.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know Spider-Man is in the MCU with Tom Holland, and they have this deal with Disney Marvel where it's they can't have their own Spider-Man going on while they're having Tom Holland doing the stuff in the MCU. Okay, fine. But
and
then
that makes sense, sure. But it's it's coming to a point now where I'm just look, let's Sony Animation finish what they're going to be doing with the Spider-Verse. If they have nothing planned after Beyond the Spider-Verse, then if Marvel Studios does want to get the IP back, then that's when Marvel Studios should do it. If they plan on doing it, and if Sony Animation does end their Spider-Verse universe with Beyond. If they do end it with Beyond and Marvel Studios is planning to eventually get the IP back, that's when they should do it, because at this point there's just so many problems going on because of this. Because look at the rumors going around for Spider-Man 4, the conflict between Sony and Marvel Studios on if it should be street level or multiverse, or if it should have both, because Sony wants to have multiverse because, well, last movie made $1 billion for Spider-Man. That's what's going on. So I'm just that's why I'm just at this point, just if you're planning to get the IP back and Sony Animation isn't planning to continue their Spider-Verse movies after Beyond, take it back. That's when you got to do it, because if not sooner, then, and there's no plans with the Spider-Man character with Sony Animation, then there's just going to be more problems coming in for Marvel Studios, especially because look at the problems that they're facing right now. Well, aside from Deadpool and Wolverine this year, but and nervously for Captain America: Brave New World, the first film after Deadpool and Wolverine, which please for the love of God, please be at least really good. So
yeah, I have my worries about that too.
Oh boy. So yeah, that's why I'm just at this point, if Marvel Studios plans on getting it back and Sony Animation doesn't continue on doing their Spider-Verse after Beyond, then just get the Spider-Man IP back at this point. Just do it. Just do it, Marvel Studios. Please.
Well, that's the thing, like, because I don't think Sony will ever give up Spider-Man completely.
And
You know,
yeah, I really don't see them giving up either. But like at this point, like Marvel Studios needs to like put the foot down and be like, hey, we gave you those rights, so you better respect what we do, or there's going to be a lot of consequences coming. Like,
Yeah, they're already
Feige needs to put the foot down on Sony. Like, hey, you need to freaking listen to us and what we want to do. People aren't interested in what you're doing with your universe. No offense, it sucks. I don't think I really do think he would say no offense. But who knows? I'm not behind the scenes person. Who knows how those conversations go? Not saying I know Kevin Feige personally. Who knows how a lot of people in the industry are behind the scenes? Just saying. But you never know though with how those go. And I'm just saying it right now. Feige just has to put the foot down on this and just be like, look, you need to freaking listen to us. We give you those rights, and if you don't listen to us and and if things really don't go our way because of how you guys, how your universe has been performing and just how you guys have been just making like forced plots for us that we came up with that you decided to change and twist, then we're gonna really put the foot down on you. And I'm just gonna say right now, if that happens, I don't know what's gonna happen then when it comes to that. Like I really think like if it comes to that, then I think that like definitely Marvel Studios is gonna maybe get the IP back to Spider-Man, but you never know. Or the relationship could just get messy.
I don't know. I think the only way I see that happening is if the Spider-Man movies they produce stop making money. You know, I think that's the only way I could see that happening. But, you know, like as much as we don't like the Venom films, like they still are profitable.
They are. I will give Sony that. They're profitable. They are making money. People are the only thing that's keeping the Sony universe invested is the Venom character. And I just gotta say this right now, speaking of the Venom character, I really hope when we get him in the MCU, they fix him a bit.
A lot, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, a lot. And bring in the person who voiced Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Bring that dude in. He is fucking goated. If you don't, that would be a crime.
Oh, that's asking too much of Sony.
I'm just not saying from Sony. I'm just speaking of from Marvel Studios. Should they actually do Venom after what happened in the film? Because that's very uncertain now. But if they still decide to do Venom, please do that, Marvel Studios. That would be such a massive crime.
Yes. So, yeah, the first two Venom movies were profitable. The first movie, of course, we documented it, made over $800 million. The second film didn't make quite as much as the first film, but still was very profitable, made it around $500 million. So yeah, of course, we would expect the third movie coming. But before that happened, of course, we had the two atrocities from Sony called Morbius and Madam Web.
Oh God.
And those movies were terrible. Absolutely terrible. Once again.
By the way, speaking of Morbius, I don't want to keep interrupting you. I do apologize for that. But I don't know if anyone heard about a rumor, but there's a rumor going around that now that Vulture may be appearing in the MCU again. Michael Keaton's Vulture, by the way, not to get anyone confused. There's a rumor going around that he may actually be appearing back in the MCU. And that like everything that happened in Morbius was just filler. So he's just gonna pop back into the MCU, and no really big effect happened, and he doesn't have hatred for Spider-Man anymore. So,
well, if that isn't a big FU to Sony, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I know. So it's like I don't know if anyone heard about that rumor, but that's what's been kind of going around, and yeah, man. So Sony just really just doesn't. Oh God, they do things that just make no sense, and then just like backtrack immediately and just don't stick the course.
No, they don't. But
People
yeah,
thought the EU didn't stick the course. Sure, it was disconnected and all, but they didn't like just drop it like next film and be like, okay, that got handled off screen. Like, at least they didn't do that. You got to give the DCEU credit for that, even though that it's freaking sucked in the old regime. I'm glad they're gone, but you got to give them credit for that at least.
yeah, it's not quite as bad as what Sony doing as far as all that directions and all that stuff. But yeah, so we already reviewed those films. They weren't very good. Once again, it's Sony just trying to force the C-level, D-level characters from Spider-Man's world, Spider-Man's rogues gallery, Spider-Man's group of characters, and trying to turn them into anti-heroes and all the other stuff. And it's falling flat on their face every time. And they are, like Morbius and Madam Web, bombed at the box office. Really horrible ratings.
Yeah.
And they're not done after this because they also have Kraven the Hunter coming out in December.
And that's going to bomb as hard as Tony Khan's reputation.
Damn.
Yeah, that's how far I'm going right now, especially because I'm just calling it right now, man. Sony is becoming the next AEW. I'm not saying that in a good way.
Yeah, unfortunately. And so when it came to Venom 3, like, I could care less at this point. I was so jaded by the first two. Of course, I'm not excited for the third film. It's just gonna be more of the bullshit that we got from the previous two movies. And hearing that, what really gave me pause about this movie this time around is the director of this film, Kelly Marcel. She was the writer of the first two films. This is her directorial debut. And that made me very, very concerned because this is not the first time that they decide to get writers for movies and having them have do their directorial debut. The similar thing happened with the writer of the first two Blade films, and then he came in to direct Blade Trinity, and it was really bad. And then we had Simon, what was it? I forget his name. Because he wrote Man of Steel. David Zaz. Was it David Zaz? No. Wait a minute. Sorry, this is gonna bother me, guys. I'm about to look it up right now.
It's all good.
Blue Jay, where are you with the writing facts? I usually go to you for that. Let's see. David Goyer. Yes, David Goyer. He wrote the first two Blade films, and then he directed the third movie. Yeah, he actually he helped to write the Blade films. And then he directed Blade Trinity, and it was bad. And then Simon Kinberg, who wrote the majority of the X-Men films, and then he directed Dark Phoenix, and that was not good either. So I saw this going into a similar direction. And then I actually went and did a little deep dive of what other stuff she worked on. She also worked on 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah. And she worked on Cruella. And which was okay. I didn't hate Cruella. It was okay, but still had some weird stuff going on with that. So I was already like, oh man, this is not gonna end well, is it? I don't think so.
Oh boy, yeah. It's Sony though too. That's the other thing. Just like expect Sony to make a fuck up.
Yeah, for sure. And then when we saw the trailers, and I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not impressed at all. So he's in the middle of nowhere, and it's a road trip movie, and Chiwetel Ejiofor is an army guy. Once again, getting us an actor who's already in the MCU to be in these Sony movies, and it just makes no sense.
Yeah, and then also, you forgot to mention this part. Well, I think you're gonna get there. The whole completely retconning the post-credit scene from No Way Home.
Oh, well, yeah, I was gonna get to that later. But Yeah, it's just the trailers did not blow me away. What I forgot to mention, I forgot the other thing Kelly Barcelona worked on. The only the good thing that she worked on, she actually helped to do script rewrites for Mad Max Fury Road, which was a great film, and she also worked on the script for Saving Mr. Banks, which was a good movie. So, okay, those are two good things that she did. But still, like, this is the first time you're directing a film, and like you worked on the previous two Venom films, which were not good. So I don't know what to feel about that. But anyway, one other thing with the marketing, they're now introducing Null for the comics. So he's going to be in this movie too. He's the creator of the symbiotes, and I'm like, oh great, oh this is not. Oh boy, they're not going to get him right. Nope, you're not tricking me. Yeah, he looks badass in the movie. I mean, in the trailers, but do I think they're going to get Null right? Absolutely not. They fucked up Craven, so do you really think they're going to get Null right? I actually saw people were genuinely excited when they saw Null in the trailers or whatever, and I'm like, guys, come on now. Let's think for a second. Look what they did to Carnage. Let's really think about this for a second.
Also, Bruce. I mean, someone said that this movie is going to. They think that Null is like an attraction that's going to make billions of dollars. I don't know what they said. I have no idea. And you probably know who I'm talking about in one stream, but like they said, yeah, Null is a big draw for Venom 3. It's like, really?
Wait a minute.
Recently,
nobody knows who Null is.
I don't know who the fuck Null is, so I don't know. He's like, a new character to me.
Yeah, it's like unless you're a hardcore fan of Venom that read all of his comics specifically, no one's gonna know who Null is. Like, I don't know, man. I really was just dragging myself to go see this. I had no excitement for this whatsoever. Oh, let's not forget those weird tarantula things that look like they're aliens from A Quiet Place. What the heck is going on with those? But I digress with that too. I'm like, okay, more monsters.
Did they get freaking like John Krasinski to be like, hey, we need your pitch on what we want these. We know you worked on some monsters from A Quiet Place. We want to know your input on monsters that we're going to be doing for our next Venom film.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous airplane battle, and we have an airplane sequence, okay. And then what really just made me face palm. Venom Horse.
Oh yeah, man. I was like, oh, whoa.
When I saw Venom Horse, I wanted to put my hands up in the air. I'm like, oh my god. Wow. All right. This is how dumb we got now, huh? This is Venom Horse. Wow. This is how creative we're getting.
It looked cool.
Look at them. Continue to encourage them to do more stupid shit. But anyway, so the only thing I could hope for is just don't be as bad as Carnage. Don't be as bad as Morbius. Don't be as bad as Madam Web. I'm expecting this to be a bad movie, but just please, you got to put in effort to be worse than Morbius and Madam Web. Just please, just be dumb, entertaining fun for some things, right? Just give me a little bit. Just give me a little bit of that, right? So anyway, seeing this opening weekend, what did I think? It was exactly what I expected it to be. It was bad. Another trash Venom film. Like, what did you guys expect me to say? Like, this is the best one of the three. Well, okay, I'll say this. I would say, yeah, this is not as bad as the first two films. I was not as annoyed with it as I was with the first two. Like I've seen that like, going around when I saw the early reviews that this is the best one of the three. Sure, you can say that, but it's still not a good movie. It's still pretty bad. Like clearly this is not for me. This is just not for me. These Venom films are just such wasted potential for me. I don't like how goofy it is. I don't like Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. I still don't like him. I'm starting to like Venom less and less. It's just sure the banter between the two is entertaining at times, but it's just like it's the same shtick we've been getting from the previous two. It's just I don't know. It's just not working for me, man. It's not. As far as the directing, it like Kelly seemed pretty consistent with Andy Serkis and Ruben Fleischer. And by consistent, I mean she just feels like another director for hire, like Ruben Fleischer and Andy Serkis did. So do you feel any like stamp from Kelly? No, you didn't. So that's whatever. But just like as the quote unquote finale for Venom, like it didn't really feel like a fulfilling finale. Really, they really tried to make it feel like it was like that, but it's just like I don't know. Even for people that are fans of Venom, do they really? I don't really see this feeling like a finale, like a fulfilling finale for them. It just.
I agree with that because what's weird, and we'll get into that later. I
think you're going.
It keeps saying this. Oh yeah, this is a final installment of the epic conclusion, and this film has little to no closure. And it has 2 post-credit scenes.
Right. Like, we'll get into that stuff later, but like for them saying this is the last Venom film, they're still setting up things like he's going to return. So it's like what am I supposed to feel? It feels like and like this is probably surprising to come from me because I said that I enjoy this film. It almost feels like a Rise of Skywalker situation where it's like they abruptly are trying to end the Skywalker saga when it feels like they want to do more after this. I'm getting that type of feeling with this. The plot is still dumb. We'll get into it when we get into it, but it's like with all the hype that they're giving to Null in this, it's like, oh, Null's going to be like a really big factor when it comes to the Sonyverse, and maybe they're going to set him up for stuff in the MCU. Like, oh, Null's going to be this really big bad for the future, and it just feels like they just slapped him in here, and just like, and like. He barely is in the movie. Spoilers, this is a spoiler stream. He's barely in the film. Like, okay, yeah, he sets up the conflict, I guess. But as far as him having a presence, as far as him playing a factor in the overall plot, there's nothing. Like, there's, like, literally, he's there for maybe, like, 2 scenes. And he has maybe 1 or 2 lines in the film.
Okay, so the entire movie is him just like this. I am Null. I am a badass. You can't see my face because I'm stuck on my own dick. You can't see me. I'll give you this. He's not really a villain because he's not really in the movie that much. He just sits in this chair, I'm taking a mean ass shit. I'm fucking down, thinking about my thoughts. To get out of this fucking prison. Go get Venom. I'm badass. I'm Null. That's it.
Yeah, it's like he's doing the Thanos thing. It's like, which I'll give it this. Like, for people that argue Thanos did the same thing in the first couple movies, yes, that is true. However, it is built on the foundation that the films that we got in the first couple phases were good, and they did a better job building up Thanos as a big baddie, and just a,
And definitely had more direction than what the current direction of the MCU is now.
yeah, very, very true. It's just like Null is just like, and this is just why it's so confusing that they're trying to make this the last Venom film, because like if there was any villain, I guess, or antagonist of Venom that they should have like built up as like the big baddie for his finale, I guess it would be Null, because he's the creator of the symbiotes, right? Like, couldn't we get like, which gets into the plot, just doesn't make any sense, but we're gonna get into it when we get into it. But it's just like, we expected more from him. Chiwetel Ejiofor, I don't know why he's in this film. Like, he literally could have had anybody else play this role, and the movie would not be any different. Michelle Williams is not in this film, and I don't really care, because I didn't care for her character in the first two movies. Mrs. Chang's in here for no reason. Yeah, it's just, yeah, there's some entertaining fight action scenes here and there. Like, I would say, like, as far as like set pieces, I would say this is probably the most creative out of the three. But no, I walked out of this being like, yeah, this no, this movie gets a no from me. I can't do it. It's the best of the three, but that's really not saying a lot. But yeah, what did you think about Venom: The Last Dance, Blue Jay?
I liked it.
Okay, that's completely fine. That's fine.
This is no different. Honestly, hold on, you put my mic on. All right, yeah. Honestly, this is honestly no different. I don't see, when I compare these three, I don't see them as like better than one or better than the other, because I like them kind of the same. I mean, they're stupid, dumb, goofy, but I'm at this point now where no matter how, like, when a movie gets too goofy, you're at this point now where you're just like, I just don't give a shit about how illogical it is. If you're just here for just some dumb fun, and that's it. And I expected that from Venom. And sure, it's not accurate to the comics. I don't give a shit. It's not super serious. I don't give a shit. It's illogical. I don't give a shit. Mostly because, sure, I think there are some points. Now, I will point out, and there's some parts in this film where I had to turn on my brain on. I was like, okay, that's fucking stupid. But turn that back up. I was having a good time. That's all. Parts up now. There are. I'll give you this. There are parts of it that have some very weird setups. Like, for example, do you know? So you remember the science with the Christmas tree pin?
Oh,
They
yeah,
made-
yeah.
They made a freaking joke about a Christmas tree pin. So this is weird. It's just little things that's weird to me. So like, oh yeah, I'm gonna she comes into the lab, she switches her shoes, and then the camera pans the camera cuts to the pairs of shoes that she switched on the shelves, and then later on it comes up with a payoff that Venom grabbed the shoes and and Eddie was wearing the shoes, like, best shoes ever. I was like, that's an arc. That's a
God.
yes.
The running thing with the shoes, I didn't understand.
Yeah, like it was just a weird like thing they set up. Like, she switches her shoes for whatever reason, and then sneakers are on the shelves, and they're, I don't know, it's whatever. But other than that, it was fun. I can't say it's best or better. I just think they're kind of all the same. They're not like, there's some certain franchises that are just not better or worse than other. They're just kind of in that same league. But I am still critical of this whole Sony universe thing because I think it's a pretty it's a decent idea on paper, but the way they're showing it is just they don't really have a plan. You know, like I would love to see Venom with Spider-Man, but really they kind of backed us up to the corner because they want a piece of that MCU money. Because most of these movies that they're making are kind of designed to trick audiences thinking that they're MCU films, while they're not. Sure, they make good films, but I'm talking about the live action films from their sector. Like if it's not from Sam Raimi, if it's not from Feige, if it's not from Sony Animation, Lord and Miller, these movies are just kind of like they're almost kind of there with little to no purpose. Like Madam Web was just don't get me started with that shit.
Oh God.
I was like, they didn't even know what the hell they're doing. But at least with these Venom films, they gave me some dumb fun, a good time in the theater. And look, I know you guys are not excited for Craven, but I do want to see Craven because I'm curious to see how that's gonna pan out.
You want to see me feces?
I don't know if I believe that, but we'll see.
I'm just coming up with bullshit. I'm just saying because how Craven likes to like eat people like for some reason. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a thing in there of him like ripping someone's feces out or something.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Look, I might be slightly curious of how they handle the R rating, but I'm sorry. At this point, no. I'm no. 5 movies. We are 5 movies into this Sonyverse.
Yeah.
And I did not like any of them. This universe is dead to me, like the Conjuring universe at this point. Like, no, I have not excited for it at all.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You know what you should do? You should put up a picture of a freaking Batman like on the ground like okay, you know the meme going around of like, okay, rate this project like from like this Batman image of him like standing up fighting with like kind of bleeding out, but you can withstand it, and then post a picture of him like lying on the ground just dead, like on a movie that is just bad. Like you should like at this point, like I think it'd be kind of funny if you did actually do that. Like post a picture of like, this is what I think of the Sonyverse, and then it's just a picture of like just Batman on the ground, just like bleeding out, just dead on the ground.
Literally, if Blue Jay decided to do a tier ranking of the Sony movies, all of them will either be in some old bullshit or fuck you. That's literally what it would be. Wipe my ass quality. I'm sorry, that's what it is. It's going
wipe my ass quality. Yeah,
most of them will be in that.
So yeah, it's almost just crazy. Well, I will say this. It's almost a little crazy how we got a Venom trilogy before Justice League.
Oh my god, no, and that is the biggest injustice.
We have a Venom trilogy before the Spider-Verse trilogy ends.
We have a Venom trilogy before not even Andrew Garfield. I feel so bad for that dude.
Dude,
yeah.
There's so many atrocities happening. Like this universe existing as long as it did. But
we have a Venom trilogy before a Superman trilogy. Well, in modern day.
We have a Venom trilogy before a Wonder Woman trilogy.
Oh yeah. We have hey, here's one. We have a Venom trilogy before a Batman trilogy in a coherent DC cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Look at Ben Affleck. He was fucked over. And Venom gets a trilogy, and Ben Affleck's Batman doesn't.
Yep. All you Batgirl fans, they canceled Batgirl.
Yep.
But they allowed all these movies to come out. They allowed these Sony movies to come out.
Yep. Yeah.
But anyway,
that's their logic.
That is their logic. Anyway, back to your thoughts, Pooja.
No. I look, the movie is dumb. And we'll pretty much, and I guess I want to get into the scene that you probably was just dead inside. Like
Yeah.
I liked it. Good time. That's all. At the very least, at the very least, I had fun in the theater in Joker 2. It was 2 hours of good times, while Joker 2 was just like 2 hours and 20 minutes of what the fuckery.
You know what? That's one thing I will say. I did have more of an entertaining time in this than Joker Flea did.
Yeah.
And you know there are fans of people in the chat. There are people that enjoyed the movie. Ashley enjoyed it. Crazy Joe enjoyed it. You know, so there are fans. There are fans of this movie. So that's
And there's
completely
nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. Like you have every right to like what you like and dislike what you dislike.
Also, you can dance. You can dance the time of your life.
Man, when they
Mamma Mia, here I go again, my mind.
I just
Stop singing.
I hate Mamma Mia. I hate Mamma Mia so much, and when they played that, God.
They literally. Oh my god.
I can't.
All right.
Anyway, moving on. Darkness Under the Wind. What did you think about Venom: The Last Dance?
Okay, so I'm just gonna say right now, I said this behind the scenes. I actually have not seen this movie, and I have no interest in watching this movie. But I will say this though. From what I have seen, like from the trailers, I knew this was gonna be just like the previous two Venom films, and I knew that like the very ending of this movie, well, from what I saw anyway, there were leaks on Twitter, so because like you know those freaking leaks, you gotta avoid them at times if you want to watch. If you're interested in a movie, you gotta make sure you mute the words so that way you don't get spoiled. But I was just like, whatever, just tell me what happens. I'm curious to know. Like just tell me, So I saw the ending of it, and obviously I know DL, you're gonna get into this, but I saw the ending, and I'm just gonna say right now, how the hell are we even gonna get Venom now in Spider-Man 4 if he is actually gonna be in there, nor the MCU before Secret Wars or in Secret Wars or after Secret Wars when the MCU is soft reboots and we get the X-Men? How the hell are we gonna get Venom now?
Well, if you remember in what was it? The end. Either was the end credit scene in Let There Be
For Let There Be
Carnage.
Carnage when Venom had the multiverse ability.
Yeah, when he went back to, well, they played the same scene from the end credits of No Way Home where Eddie was talking to the bartender about the snap, and then there's a portal that sent him back to his world, and but what I'm referencing is that when he had the portal sent back to his world, there was a little bit of the symbiote that was left behind in the MCU.
Right.
We possibly will still get a Venom in the future, but it probably won't be Tom Hardy. But when it comes to Secret Wars, though, anything could happen. They could still bring Tom Hardy back in a different timeline or something like that. Or they'll just reboot and have a new Venom in the Tom Holland movies, whether it be Eddie Brock or somebody else. Who knows? But
the thing is though, it's like, didn't that one dude like get that little piece of the symbiote and then
apparently not.
Can I break it
From
to
this
him?
movie.
Can I break it to him?
What do you mean?
You could tell him.
How it happened in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you spoiler stream.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, okay. So darkness. So the movie starts off with pretty much it ends off where No Way Home left off, right?
Okay.
So in the bar with the bartender, he got zapped away in his shined away in his universe back to his universe. So if you were confused about that scene with the symbiote and the bartender in the trailer that got caught by Chilton Ejiofor's character, literally, that part was not that scene did not take place in the No Way Home in the MCU. So basically the bartender from the MCU is the bartender in his universe. So they just have the same bartender from the different universes, all right? So
Okay.
and then after that, so they do this whole tequila scene where they're just making tequila, have this whole crazy silly sequence, and after that, Venom gets out a tip. Here's a tip, and then his symbiote pieces of them were left on that coin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how. I guess it kind of makes sense, but it's still kind of dumb the way how they marketed it. I was like,
it's so weird how they did it, because like literally when I saw the trailer, I'm like, are you literally just erasing what happened to the MC? Oh my god. Because I'm one of those people that wants to see Venom in the MCU and fight Spider-Man, merge with him, and possibly get us in an arc and this is on my wish list. I hope we get an arc similar to what we got in Marvel Spider-Man 2, where oh my god, that
game.
That arc with the symbiote in Peter was peak, and I want to get that, and then we get them fighting each other. And you're telling me you're just gonna? Oh nope, wait. We're just gonna flow. We're just gonna.
No. See, yeah,
I told you you're asking for too much if you try to have them take some stuff from the game. Like you asking for too much from Sony.
Although I'm not just speaking from Sony. I'm just talking about when we get Venom in the MCU, because it looked like we were gonna get that transition with him coming into it. So like,
yeah.
That scene. So you can sign a relief. That scene that take place was in his universe. It was just set up differently. It was weird how they did that. But
yeah.
Just want to tell you that. So
Okay.
go ahead, Dia.
Yeah.
All
Go
right.
ahead, Dia.
All right. So I want to start with this plot that they cooked up for us.
Well, they cooked all right.
Oh boy.
And when I say cooked, I mean they just heated something up in the microwave for a minute, and it's like it's not fully warm enough. Like there's some parts of it that's hot, but then there's still some of it that's kind of like a little bit cold. So they should like reheat it again, but they don't. They just eat it like where half of it is warm and there's a little bit of it's cold. That's how this movie is. But anyway, so the conflict is that Null is imprisoned in his world, his planet, wherever he is, and he's sending his giant creatures from A Quiet Place. They're transporting them to Earth because So in Let There Be Carnage, Eddie Brock died, and then Venom brought him back to life. If we remember that, because I forgot about that.
That was the first. That was the first movie.
Oh, that was the first. See, this is how much I don't care. But in the first movie, but yeah, in the first movie he died, and then Venom brought him back to life. So because of that, they created this beacon called the Codex. Yeah, they didn't hear that name before.
The Codex. Yeah,
Man of Steel.
That is some. Yeah, that sounds like something from freaking Transformers, some freaking MacGuffin shit.
Dude, it's literally they're literally okay. I don't know the comics fans like, oh, the Codex was from this Venom Null comic issue number 45. like I don't care. Literally, I just thought of Man of Steel because their thing was called the Codex as well. But anyway, so I
literally looked up Marvel Venom issue number 45.
Issue number 45. But anyway, so they create this beacon called the Codex. So because Eddie died and Venom helped bring him back to life, they created the Codex in their mind, whatever, I don't know, their body, I guess. And so because of that, Venom can't fully transform into his Venom form with Eddie, because if he does, that will have the cockroaches track them instantly. So the cockroaches have to extract the Codex from Eddie and Venom in order for Null to be free from whatever bind or prison that he's in from his world. And then when he gets that Codex, he's going to be able to control all the symbiotes and take over the universe. I have so
Honestly-
many questions. I have
Honestly-
so many questions. Go ahead.
I will now. I'm forgiving a lot of dumb shit, but if we're going for that logic, right? So if a person dies, remember Eddie died in the first movie, Venom brought him back to life, right? So Mulligan, the Stephen Graham's character that died, that I think he died from Venom's other reincarnation after Shriek, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he got a symbiote in him. Does that mean he has a codex? Or does any other scientist in this movie that died later on that got the codex? I guess there's only one codex ever made.
And there's a whole other can of worms too with the symbiotes that that binded with the humans there. So because there was this whole thing that they established in the first two movies where it's like there's a specific being or human that is compatible with certain symbiotes. So conveniently, the scientists or whoever was at that Area 51, conveniently, the people that the symbiotes that hosted with, they are 100% compatible with them. But it was whatever. I'll turn my brain off there. That's fine. All right. So conveniently, they're all able to sync with the symbiotes and nothing was wrong. Okay, fine. Whatever. But okay. So going back to Null trying to free himself from this prison, right? So wait. If you are stuck in your world, how are you able to create portals to transport your cockroaches to the planet? Shouldn't you be able to create a portal to transport you to wherever you want to go? What is keeping you imprisoned? That's what I want to know. With all the stupid exposition that they want to spat out in this movie, the one thing that they fail to explain is how is Null imprisoned? How does that work? Like, what is going on with him?
It's kind of like it really reminds me of Revenge of the Fallen, where when a Prime dies, the Fallen rises. You remember how Optimus Prime died in that movie, and somehow like at last Primus, he just gets off the chair, and like he suddenly like.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm guessing like if you kill Venom, he gets up on his chair and actually takes over. That's what that reminds me of.
I just don't understand. Like, it's just so many logic gaps here. It's like, is he trapped on his throne? Like, is he stuck on there? Like, obviously not, because he's moving around in his planet when he's saying, "I must find the Codex. Go, my minions, go and send them up." Like, but like,
Did someone use like Gorilla Glue on his chair?
I maybe not. I don't know. Also, I didn't realize that Andy Serkis voiced Null, which cool. It's Andy Serkis.
I mean, he had a cool voice. He has a cool look. But that's kind of it. They don't utilize them.
Pretty cool, I will admit.
I like the casting, but they don't utilize them.
Like,
And he's marketed as like this big bad villain. It's like that's the biggest crime. He's not even the main villain.
he's not. It's just like he's a catalyst for stuff to happen, but he's not the main antagonist. Like, there's no confrontation between Venom and Null. And it's like, and here's what's confusing to me. If they're trying to set him up for future movies, but this is Venom's last film, like, the only way I could see him actually coming back is like if the Sony, God forbid, if the Sonyverse continues after this and they still want to do this Sinister Six bullshit, like,
I don't know how they can do at this point with after what happened in the ending.
right, like if like, is the Sinister Six going to fight? No, or are they hoping? Are they praying to God that Disney and Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige will actually look at Null in this Venom film and think, "Ooh, Null is really cool. Let's do something with him in the MCU and have him fight Tom Holland's Spider-Man." That's how they want him to continue with Null. And do you think for 1 second that Kevin Feige is going to look at Null in this movie and think, you know what? That's genius. Let's bring him into the MCU. Hell to the no. No way. No.
The only way how I can see a lot of this happening is if Feige and Marvel Studios do make the decision, if they are actually thinking about considering taking the rights back of Spider-Man away from them. That's the only way how I can see like something like that even happening, and then they do it their way with their interpretations of them. We get frickin' Spider-Man and Venom finally facing off against one another for the longest time, finally. So, I mean, it's like, you never know, though. You never know. I mean, it's...
Here's the thing, though. It's like, I hate how they utilized him in the film, but which just makes it more frustrating, because it's a similar thing that I talked about ever since these Sony Spider-Man universe movies came out. There is a lot of potential that they could do with these characters. Like, you could do so much better. You could do so much better storylines with Venom. You could do so many interesting storylines with Morbius. You could do so many interesting storylines with Madam Web. You could do so many interesting storylines with Kraven. You could do so many cool things with Null. The problem is what I've been saying from the beginning. They really should have waited. They really should have waited for them to use them in a Tom Holland Spider-Man film. Because, like, you're really wasting the potential of Spider-Man's universe. You know, it's like Null could be really cool. Like, it would be so badass if they actually built Venom up properly. It would be really badass to see Spider-Man and Venom having to work together against the bigger threat, Null, and him fighting against Null and his army of symbiotes or whatever it is. That would be so badass. But once again, I'm just looking at this being like waste. Just a waste. So it's a shame because, like, as I said, Andy Serkis, like, having him be Null, that's freaking awesome. It's freaking awesome.
He's a great actor.
Yes, and it's like, I never thought I would actually see a character that Andy Serkis played that would be even more of a waste of a character than Snoke from the Star Wars sequel trilogy. This is what I'm feeling right now. Like, this is arguably worse. So I don't know. That just the whole thing just didn't make sense. Did Venom even know about Null? Because he doesn't talk about Null at all in the previous two movies. It's like he didn't even exist.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just from what I'm hearing, it sounds like Sony just made a decision. Now he reveals about now he remembers Null. Oh, I remember my creator named Null. I never told you about this one, Eddie, but I think it's pretty important that you know about this, even though it was kind of too late. that I tell you after I revived you a while back. So it's kind of important that I tell you now. So like I don't know what their logic is. It's just Kevin Feige. Hope you take back the rights to Spider-Man eventually, and well, if you are planning on doing it, and hopefully you just make the good decision on doing it, and you put the foot down against Sony and just be like, listen, you guys are messing up here. We need them for what we're planning, so we got to do it. So give it to us, Sony, or there's going to be consequences.
Yeah, pretty much. Welcome back to the channel, the George.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing fine.
Cool. Yeah, have you seen The Last Dance?
Oh yeah, last weekend I saw it.
What did you think, sir?
It's the definition of a mixed bag because on one hand there was some stuff that I thought was actually cool and I did enjoy. And I'll be honest, this was a better movie than Joker 2 in my opinion. It was more enjoyable, and I think it ended on a more satisfying note, where the ending of Joker 2 really infuriated me. On the other hand, this movie also did a lot of stuff that's like typical Sony. And I have to laugh at what Blue Jay said about the similarity with like Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, where Noel gets that, because there was so much stuff in this movie.
He just said that.
Because there was so much stuff in this movie that reminded me of a Transformers movie. It felt like it wanted to be a Michael Bay Transformers movie, and it wanted to try to combine that with a Lord of the Rings epic.
Oh, Lord of the Rings epic.
Seriously, it's like the way they build up Noel. It's like, oh wow, this feels like some Lord of the Rings crap going on here. And I mean, you got the thing where, similar to how when Frodo puts the ring on, the Eye of Sauron can see him. When Eddie has the full-fledged symbiote suit on, the alien things can see him. The Quiet Place alien copy things.
It's just a dang old mess.
It's like, I mean, look, Tom Hardy was great in the movie. I'll be honest, I love Tom Hardy in anything. I love his banter with Venom, but it just feels like another typical Sony movie that was, better than Morbius and Madam Web at least.
Yeah, which is it's comparing shit to a booger.
Oh God.
How'd you feel about Null?
Noel looks so cool, and I think Andy Serkis could really do something cool with the role because Andy Serkis is a great actor. And by the way, he's another former Lord of the Rings actor who will be coming back for the Gollum movie when that eventually happens. But it's just like, after watching the first mid-credits scene, at first I was like, oh wow, Noel, this is cool. And then I was like, is Noel even going to return? Because is this universe going to continue after Kraven?
Who knows?
Who knows, man?
I do have a theory as to how you could maybe bring Noel into the MCU if Kevin Feige was cool with it. But it's like, are you going to really save Noel for a Spider-Man movie? Because it feels like Noel would destroy the Sinister Six. I'm sorry. He would destroy Michael Keaton's Vulture, Jared Leto's Joker. Not Jared Leto's Joker.
You mean Morbius?
Morbius. Oh my goodness, Morbius. Like, Kraven, the hybrid Rhino, if that survives Kraven the Hunter. Like, it would just destroy whatever lineup. I mean, do they not know what Noel did in the comics? So,
that's like sending
heroes?
Yeah, that's like sending the Suicide Squad against Darkseid. It's not.
It's like
not
Noel's an Avengers level threat. He is like a Thanos level villain.
Yeah. Which is like it just makes me question even more. Like, what was their approach with Null? Like with the Spider-Man characters they're establishing already. As you said, Null will wipe the floor with everyone.
It's
that
like
they established so far.
Here's the thing: even if, let's say, they made it into like a Spider-Verse event film where Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Hardy's Venom are the four main characters, they would still have a huge problem fighting Null. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, Null was a challenge for like other powerful heroes.
Avengers Null Dynasty.
It's like,
Oh, good.
Oh my!
Well,
I mean,
don't confuse it already. You get
I
rid
mean-
of you get rid of Kang entirely. So like,
like I have a theory as to how they can probably bring him into the MCU because obviously there's still the piece of the symbiote that's still in the MCU, unless
Yeah.
Sony retcon that. Who knows at this point what Sony wants to do, and it's like assuming that like Doomsday or I don't know even Spider-Man 4 something happens to Tom Holland where the symbiote has to revive him. Maybe Noel comes in with all the incursions happening. He's like, "Ooh, new universe, new codex." Like, because I could see Sony doing something stupid like that in the mid-credit scene for Spider-Man 4, or saying, "Hey, can we have this in the mid-credit scene for Avengers Doomsday?" Like, I can see Sony doing something like that. Because that's typical Sony.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
not the first time.
And I'm sorry, is it me or are these credits for these Venom movies so long?
Oh,
They
it was
are.
painfully long. It was painfully long. I'm like, what? How? Why? Just why? And then what pissed me off the most, because like I've complained about this before, and this is also a criticism that the MCU does as well. I don't like when they have the important credit scene in the middle, and then they have a throwaway at the end because they know that there are people waiting until the end of the credits. So if you're gonna do that BS, have the throwaway in the middle and the important one at the end. And I know what I know that people are. I've talked about this before with people that they argue that like they put the throwaway at the end so people they know that so people can go home. But like I said, people stay for the credits anyway. So it's like if they're gonna you should like reward them for staying the entire time. That end credit scene, I was mad.
I mean, the only
Wasted
time
time.
I felt like it kind of worked out that way was the No Way Home, where you had like the Eddie Brock mid-credit scene, and then after the No Way Home credits, you had the teaser trailer for Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that to me was like the only time that worked out, because you get a really good mid-credit scene, and then you get a teaser for the next MCU movie, which was also starring Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I feel like it worked out in that situation. But the other problem I have with these long credits, it's like these Venom movies are very short when you think about it.
Yeah, this is
What?
like this one's only like an hour and 40 minutes.
Like these credits, and the thing is, I actually wouldn't mind if these movies were longer, because at least like the Venom aspect is entertaining. But good lord, like I feel like even though they weren't misleading in their trailers, they're misleading in their runtime.
In what way?
It's like they say these movies are going to be like around like an hour and 40 minutes, an hour and 50 minutes.
Mhm.
I felt like the first Venom movie was like around an hour and 20 something minutes, because I remember I watched it on Stars for the first time. I didn't see it in theaters.
Mhm.
And then it's like Venom Let There Be Carnage was super short.
Mhm.
It's like you hype up these movies, you make these movies seem epic, but it's like they're really short. They're shorter than anything the MCU came out with.
Honestly, I personally don't have a problem with that, because like, you know, with modern comic book movies today, like they always feel like they need to be like over 2 hours and stuff like that. So one thing I would appreciate about with not only the Venom films but the other Sony movies is that they don't overstay their welcome. Like they stay under 2 hours. Like they're, you know, you get in and you get out.
But it's like if you're with a villain like Noel that you're trying to establish, this probably could have maybe been longer.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is true.
And
like,
it's the third, and it's the last movie. So even if Noel wasn't in the movie, assuming like this is the last time we see Tom Hardy's Venom, they could have made it a bit longer.
They could have, or at the
Like
very least, give him more to do instead of 2 scenes.
I mean, good lord, they wasted a full-fledged Venom scene on him dancing with Mrs. Chen.
That did not need to be in the movie
Oh,
at all.
Sorry. First
You
of
know
all,
it can be brought up.
I like the character of Mrs. Chen. I actually think the Venom movie characters are fine for the most part. But why was Mrs. Chen needed in this movie?
Because she was in the previous 2. Yeah.
But it's like so
Oh,
was some
God.
of the other characters that didn't appear in this movie.
Yeah, I know. Like, even though I said I don't care about Michelle Williams' character, but it's like she wasn't in it. Um, I think they literally just had that scene because the movie's called The Last Dance, and like, oh, let's give him a dance scene.
Oh, can I say
Oh boy.
the part I will say so darkness. So the plot basically Eddie is trying to say Eddie's planning on going to New York. So and he literally says, we know a judge there. I think we should blackmail him. Get him to think
What
we're
the
innocent."
fuck?
Yeah. He said something like that. I just thought it was just he said we should blackmail him. Oh, okay. You mean you're already
Oh
criminal.
my-
You want to?
I gotta talk about the New York
blackmailing? Okay,
thing.
cool. So
It's like
that gets them to go to this road trip to freaking New York from Mexico, and they're in this plane. You know, like how does Tom Cruise do this? He doesn't whine like a little bitch.
Okay, so a little nitpick though, but it's really not. And no, comic book logic. I have to, yeah, comic book logic. But like,
Oh my-
you're having Eddie hang off to the side of the plane for I don't know how long, and he's able to breathe up there fine, and he doesn't get, you know, it's also, I assume it's extremely cold up in the stratosphere. So what? How is he okay? Anyway, I digress.
Oh, so they're on this plane, right? Darkness.
Okay.
So you seen the trailer where the
Yeah,
giant
they're
bug
on a plane. They're hanging on it.
Yeah, there's this giant plane. We got this giant bug, this giant little fight in the plane. So Venom pushed the bug into the air. Remember, there's people in the plane. He
Yeah.
pushed the bug
Oh
in the
my God.
turbine. In the turbine. So they fell off the plane. It never came back. You would think that Venom would be doing this cool Iron Man 3 shit, like saving
Oh my
people with the
God.
plane. That never comes back, and I thought that was the funniest shit in the entire thing. They never brought it up. There was never a plane crash brought up. There was like they were not saved. They were not thinking okay. They ignored it. As soon as they fell off the
Oh my
plane, it was never brought up. You see the turbine smoking, the plane smoking,
The plane's
That's it.
going down.
plane's going down. And I was thinking of the entire movie, and I was like, what?
Are those
They-
people dead?
Are they dead?
I would think that's what the hell.
Oh
I mean, it would be
Lord.
kind of cool to see like Venom saving people with his like tendrils and stuff, but they didn't do that.
Nope. They just let those
the
people
plane
die.
go.
They just let those people die.
God.
So, yeah, that happened. So,
Oh God.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the hero, right?
Is he?
I mean, they're anti-heroes, so they can just fuck around whenever.
Oh,
Oh,
can we
well,
talk about-
also
They're the hero.
he also has to eat people. Why doesn't he doesn't eat anybody in this movie?
I mean, he ate those three, those guys with those dog trafficker guys.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. I guess.
Oh yeah, he goes. So he's going to New York City. Still no mention of a Spider-Man. Like you would think. Wait a minute, we're going to New York City. You were about to go to New York City in the MCU before you were sent back.
Nope. I think they're trying to.
Oh,
I think they're trying to avoid saying Peter Parker or Spider-Man as much as possible because Kevin Feige is looking at them on a microscope. He'd be like, "Don't you do that? Don't you do that?"
It's like, and I know what Sony's gonna do. They're gonna mislead and say, "Hey, Eddie's in New York City. Maybe Spider-Man 4 after all the multiverse stuff happens in Doomsday."
If they do like if like Peter goes into like a cafe or something and he meets up with like Ed or oh no, if Peter goes into the Daily Bugle and he sees Eddie in there you go.
Well, oh my goodness. Well, here's the thing, like, there's only one Peter Parker that knows of an Eddie Brock, as far as we know. That's Tobey Maguire's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
God.
we don't even know like if there's Spider-Man even in this universe.
As an Eddie Brock.
I mean, like, and here's the thing: are they gonna like pull a Deadpool Wolverine where like let's say Tom Hardy does appear as Eddie Brock in the next Spider-Man movie, but it's not the Eddie Brock that we know? like Tom Hardy's playing like a variant in the MCU that
He plays
doesn't.
Bane.
It is the multiverse saga.
True.
Like Lily, when I say that anything could happen in Secret Wars, I'm expecting anything to happen. They will pull out anything out of their ass.
Oh,
in
so
Secret Wars.
can we get Jared Leto's Morbius? Can we get Dakota Johnson's Madam Web?
Oh
Can
yeah.
we get Howard the Duck?
Oh god.
1980s version.
Dude, Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they can bring out Mahershala Ali's Blade in another
Yeah,
universe.
right. Yeah, right. 4 years later, it finally happened.
In another universe,
For
the
9
movie-
years of waiting, he's actually in the movie. It's just not his movie, not his own movie.
We have a better chance of Ben Affleck coming back as Daredevil. At this point, we got a better chance of him coming back as Daredevil than Mahershala Ali like getting his Blade movie. We got a better chance. We got a better chance of Topher Grace coming back as Venom at this point.
In another universe, the film released 3 years ago.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So
But, I don't
going-
know, man.
So what we have? Oh yeah, going back into we got most of the stuff is kind of they go back to this lab. Oh yeah, so
Area 51.
So apparently Area 51 is on the brink of shutting down for reasons I don't know. So there's a part where I go, yep, that's gonna become to fruition, where they show Chiwetel Ejiofor. They showed him the soldiers showed him like this giant toxic acid rain system that they use to kind of get rid of some of the junk that they got. So I go, that's gonna come to fruition at the final battle.
Oh
And-
yeah.
Yeah, I called it from a mile away.
Yep.
So they went down. So they went down to the lab where all these people are, and then you have Stephen Graham's character Mulligan, who is Toxin, and I think the design is cool. It's a green Venom, but I like the little squid tentacles and stuff he got going on.
I do know about Toxin being in the film.
Sure.
He's kind of cool, but he's not in the. He didn't do anything. He's just there for exposition. He's just there to talk about Null in the Codex.
Pretty much. Like, I'll say this because like there's a bunch of symbiotes that come in at the end and help fight Venom at the end. It's like I'm sure there's names for all of them, but Lily, I don't care. I really don't.
I like that. That final battle scene was pretty fucking rad.
Yeah, yes. Like, okay, I'm not taking away like that set piece was entertaining to watch, seeing the symbiotes fight the cockroaches. Sure, that's fine. It's just a shame because they don't build up any of the symbiotes at all. They are just there, and as I said earlier, they conveniently are able to pair with whatever humans they pair with in those. They don't have any issues with them whatsoever, and it's like we don't unless you are looking up the names of those symbiotes, you don't know what these symbiotes are. You don't know their names.
It's the brown symbiote. Oh, that's a.
Oh, that's pain. Oh, that's agony. Oh, that's anal reach. I don't know.
Anal reach.
Oh my! You know what? It also felt like it was trying to do. It felt like it was trying to invoke Iron Man 3, not just with the plane scene, but with all the symbiotes coming in.
That's what I was thinking.
You know how we got all the different Iron Man suits at the end of Iron Man.
That was
3?
some Iron Man 3 shit.
Yeah,
it wanted to be
the same thing.
It wanted to be A Quiet Place, Lord of the Rings, Michael Bay Transformers, and Iron Man 3 all in one movie that was less than 2 hours.
I just realized all the movies that you referenced, and it's kind of like this is like just to now. It's just like wow, it was just so many different things.
It's like it wanted to be Lord of the Rings epicness. It wanted to like do the style of a Michael Bay Transformers movie. It wanted to invoke the aliens of A Quiet Place, and it wanted to, of all the comic book movies, it wanted to be like Iron Man 3. It's like we don't want to be like the other Sony movies, even though we kind of still are. Of all the MCU movies, let's be Iron Man 3. And I do like Iron Man 3 a lot, but that was a weird choice out of all the MCU movies to invoke.
Hey, Venom 3, Iron Man 3.
But here's the thing: at least
Okay.
at the end of Iron Man 3, we kind of knew, even though the suits are destroyed, he's gonna return. Here, it's like, okay, is Eddie Brock really gonna return, or are they gonna just show Tom Hardy play a variant of Eddie Brock?
I
I think
That's
the
not
whole
this
variant.
version.
I think the variant stuff is just gotten so lazy to me. That's just me.
Oh, it absolutely is that lazy.
Yeah.
But it's like we kind of know at this point what Sony and the MCU like. We wouldn't be surprised if they pull that off.
So, can we talk about the hippie family?
Oh,
my-
hold on. Before
hippie
we get to
family?
that hippie family, because I have a lot to say about that as well. We need to go back to this female scientist. They
Oh, okay.
they gave her like this backstory for no reason. It adds nothing to the film whatsoever. So Juno Temple, that's the actress's name.
Yep.
So
Okay.
they created this. They have this backstory. She's one of the scientists that works at Area 51, which you would tell Edgy for. So they have this whole backstory of when she was a kid. She was very close with her brother, and her brother wanted to be an astronaut. And they're sitting like they're. She has this nightmare of them like laying down, staring at the stars, and her brother is like, I want to be an astronaut one day. And then she's like, oh yeah, you'll be that astronaut. I'm so excited for you, my twin brother being an astronaut. I shit you not, Darkness. This is what is happening in the movie.
Oh
So-
my god.
So
Oh.
at night when they're looking at the stars, there's like this weird storm that comes about, and they all be like, oh, there's a storm coming, even though when you're looking up at the sky and you don't see the clouds forming and the thunder starting to happen, and now you're all like, here comes the storm. But anyway, they get up and they start, running back home, and then all of a sudden, Lily, an act of God, a lightning bolt strikes down on her brother.
Oh
And
my
they,
god. What the fuck?
and they conveniently they're holding hands, running away while this is happening. But anyway, while they're holding hands, running away, the lightning bolt strikes the brother and kills him. And then while they're holding hands, somehow the lightning bolt doesn't kill her. But what does it do? The lightning strike, while it's killing her brother, while they're holding hands, the lightning strike goes up her arm, and she loses feeling in her arm.
Yeah.
And she has this
What
mark
the
on her arm from the lightning bolt, so she can't use her arm. That doesn't kill her, but it makes her arm not work. And so that was the tragic backstory that she has.
And
Well,
I
growing up.
completely
Oh my
forgot about her
God.
because the way it started. Because I thought I was. First off, you said that the boy wants to be an astronaut.
Yes.
Can you? Part of me thinks it. Part of me thinks it was that. Part of me thinks it's that. The one dude from Spider-Man 2. My son, the astronaut.
Or are they trying? Was that their way of trying to connect it to the first movie? Because an astronaut, inadvertently brought the symbiote to Earth in the first film. Is that what they were trying to do with that? Like, what is that? What does that have to do with anything?
What was the point of this character to begin with?
I don't know. It sounds like
Because she gets a cool pink symbiote at the end, and it has dreads, and it has lightning powers. The symbiote has lightning powers because of her, and that's literally it.
Oh my goodness! Like, okay, it's not that you like. To be fair, there's been worse characters in Morbius and Madam Web, but then there's also characters that's like, if they were not in the movie, or if they were played by a different actor, it wouldn't be any different.
Yeah.
That's basically the summary of this movie. It's like, I'm probably gonna mispronounce his name. Chiwetel Ejiofor, great actor.
There you go.
What was his character? Kind of felt like the typical I'm gonna hunt down the main protagonist character because I'm the military special ops character, and that's my job. This is where another Transformers reference comes in. He feels like one of those hunter characters from Age of Extinction or The Last Night.
The only difference is they don't have Tyrese Gibson.
Jake. No, Tyrese. No, Tyrese is a good guy. This guy, like, he's antagonistic towards the protagonist, and then he comes through at the end. That's where the similarity rise comes in.
It's like, why are you taking similarities from movies that are not good? Like,
That's what it's.
I don't.
Especially from, of all things, Age of Extinction and Last Night. Like, come on.
It's just it doesn't make any sense. Like,
you might as well get Anthony Hopkins in there giving dialogue and narration.
Literally, like there is like blatant exposition, like just coming out of nowhere. Like, people don't speak this way.
When I think of Anthony Hopkins and I think of him, and we're talking about Transformers, I just think about him in The Last Night, just getting shot at.
He's like, "You wretched human."
Yeah, boom, and he's just flying up in the air.
But literally, it felt like an Age of Extinction Last Night kind of story where it's like, we're gonna build up something epic and it ain't gonna go anywhere.
Oh God.
So yeah, that character. So I like Juno Temple. I think that Chiwetel Ejiofor, which I don't see the point of having him in the role, or it could be a different person. He's there for a paycheck. I respect that. It's a thankless paycheck role.
I feel like Sony, and this could lead into talking about the hippie family. It felt like Sony just casted some of these actors just because they knew that they were in other Marvel stuff, whether it was their other Marvel Spider-Man stuff or the MCU. It's like, we know Ejiofor was Mordo in the Doctor Strange movies. It's like, that's gonna. Well, maybe we can get people theorizing. We know Risey Fonts was the lizard in Amazing Spider-Man. Let's get the fans theorizing.
Oh my God! Okay, now we can talk about that stupid family.
Yeah, it's like, see what I mean? It's like they get people theorizing, and then it's like, wait, he's not Dr. Connors with the beard? He's a hippie?
So,
why? Why did they get him specifically for this film? Is it just an Easter egg for people from that like the Amazing Spider-Man movies? Like, what? Like, why? Why are you wasting this actor? And speaking of stuff that is like taking tropes from movies that are horrible, you know what this reminded me of instantly? That stupid ass family from Justice League 2017. That's what it reminds me of. Really, this family that adds nothing to the story, and they just shoehorn them into the main conflict for no reason.
Okay, so I like Risa Fon. I did kind of like him in the movie just because he's playing this hippie dude. Like, yeah, man, he's not playing like real, like he's not playing like Fillmore from Cars. Like, it's all about the music, man.
Oh my! Actually, you know what? This is where they take from another movie. You ready? Have you guys ever seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
I haven't.
No.
Oh my! It feels like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where, minor spoiler, Jay and Silent Bob, they're traveling to, go to Hollywood to, stop a movie because Jay and Silent Bob are stoner weirdos that want to cause havoc and all that. And like they get a ride with like two different groups of people. They get a ride with this hippie group that looks like the Scooby-Doo gang before James Gunn's Scooby-Doo movie came out. Because the movie came out in 2021, the Jay and Silent Bob movie. And then they get a ride with these like really good looking chicks, and one of them is this hippie looking guy that's like playing a guitar and all that. So it's like, good lord, is this trying to be a Jay and Silent Bob road trip movie now?
See, I like.
Oh my God.
I liked him in the role. I didn't like what I really, like I said, there's a lot of stupid shit in the movie, but there's one dumbass shit. It was me and my brothers. We at least saw this shit, and they go, Oh yeah, look, it's Area 51. And my son just crawled through this fence and I had a hole in it. Let's go to the Area 51. Oh my God.
Oh,
It was
jeez.
just too convenient. Like,
me and my brothers looked at each other like, "Are you?" He was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was like, "What?"
can I also remind everyone that we thought the little boy was gonna be little Peter Parker in that universe, and that the mom was going to be Aunt May or Mary Parker?
I swear, if anybody believed that was a stupid rumor, honestly.
Yo, because there was a scoop that came out, or there was a rumored leak that apparently the plot of Venom 3 was gonna be about Venom saving a little Peter Parker.
Okay, so
Holy-
that isn't even like integrated into the film. So.
Exactly, and that was actually going to be the plot of Madam Web as well. But that was like a rumor plot where the 3 Spider Women sent by Madam Web were going to save Mary Parker, who was pregnant, from getting Terminated. And it was a completely different plot. So it's like, does Sony like create these fake scoops just to get people to watch?
It feels like it. It feels like it. Or it's like they're not fully committing to these stupid ass concepts. It's like they just like, oh, this is what we'll initially do, but then when the movie comes out, it's like they do reshoots to be like, actually, it's this other thing, but it may or may not be this thing. I'm like, how many times are you going to do this? Like, God, Madam Web. It's like, ooh, it's guess who's in her belly? It's Peter Parker. God damn it! This second.
Oh my god! Like,
one thing I want to bring
Madam
up
Web
back
is like, what's his name? It's Balloon Pops. Like, oh my god!
Also, I just thought of something. Going back to the New York thing, they don't even reference Morbius when he's in New York, like a headline talking about vampires or something. They don't even want to acknowledge Morbius in their universe anymore.
Actually, do we give a shit at this point? I mean, I don't know.
But it's like they don't even want to acknowledge their past mistakes at this point.
I mean, it's like, is Morbius that big of a thing where like where they would actually like have the news on it? Like,
I mean, vampires in New York City.
I mean, I guess, but it's like, I don't know. I don't really know. Oh, what's also really weird? This is also a little nitpick. How are you broadcasting American news in Mexico?
Well, okay.
I mean, I never.
I didn't even notice that until you brought it up. I was like, oh,
yeah. It's like you're literally. It's like Mexico gets CNN and they're speaking English and they're talking about Eddie Brock and is on the run and
I guess
all the other stuff.
I guess she migrated. I don't know.
Well,
Anyway.
I mean, remember in the Venom Let There Be Carnage mid-credits scene, like when he was in a hotel in Mexico, the American news was on talking about Peter Parker as Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The post-credit scene that led to nowhere.
What else to happen? Oh yeah. Okay. So we're in this casino.
Oh God!
We're doing the Venom is
okay.
the gambling, which Venom is a gambler. Like, what is this feeling? It's like, oh, my problems have gone away. That amuses me.
And then Mrs. Chen.
Oh, hold on. Before we get to that, I also want there's 2 little things that I just bothered the crap out of me. For one thing, why do you have to knock somebody out and take someone's suit? Can't Venom just turn into a suit?
Because the director wanted to have Tom Hardy in a suit so he can look like James Bond. That's what apparently the reason why.
Oh my god!
Are you freaking serious? And then
because you know those the rumor castings that Tom Hardy could be James Bond. Well, they wanted to make it look like it happened if it didn't really happen. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's not even doing James Bond crap in the casino. Him and Venom are just wasting time.
Right. But does Sony still make Bond films?
No, No Time to Die. I'm pretty sure it was Universal.
It was Sony did Casino Royale, and from Casino Royale do Spectre, and they didn't do No Time to Die.
Okay, so why are you doing this for MGM when you're not working for MGM anymore? What? Okay,
well, here's the thing: the director made this decision, and the director, I actually learned this, was a writer for 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh no, we talked about this way in the beginning.
Oh, I didn't even know you talked about that. But good lord, when I heard that, I was like, oh gosh, no.
Yeah, it wrote 50
Well,
Shades of Grey. She wrote the first 2 films. This is her directorial debut.
I mean, to be fair, this movie is better than any of the 50 Shades movies, so kudos.
I guess so. That's the metric people want to go with.
I mean, to be
if you
fair,
wanna have that-
if there was any chemistry between Eddie, Venom, and Mrs. Chen, it was still better than the chemistry between Anastasia Steele and Christian Grey.
I mean, Venom is going up is Eddie's ass, so there's that 1% of 50 Shades in there.
Still a better love story than 50 Shades and Twilight.
Jesus Christ. The other thing, like before he takes the guy's suit, he's pissing outside, and then he turns around while he continues to piss. He turns around to face Eddie, and then he pisses on his feet. And at that point, I really wanted to walk out of the theater.
That was Michael Bay humor right there. Remember? Mojo off the robot.
Mojo off the robot.
Like, are we really having this guy piss on Eddie's feet?
Oh my god.
Boy, come
and
on.
by the way, I just also
dancing scene.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Shen, the dancing scene. Go ahead, yeah, talk about the dancing scene. Don't freaking stupid.
Come on, you like the dancing scene, like the dancing queen.
No,
you can dance. The
It's like,
and then with Eddie Brock's stupid voice acting of Venom, that sounds like Jim Carrey's Grinch trying to sing "Mamma Mia."
Venom got some moves. You know, he got some. He got the moves.
You know what would make the scene better?
What?
If like if Venom had sung like one of those like romantic songs from Spider-Man 3, one of MJ's play, like "Falling in Love is Wonderful." It's like, could you imagine?
No, I cannot.
That would be funny if they actually played the twist song from Spider-Man 3.
Like, but here's the thing: what kills me is like Venom kept going on about how like we can't risk combining together, and then it's like we'll combine for this silly moment.
Yeah, because like Eddie
Oh yeah, aren't you on the run and you're trying to prevent the cockroaches to find you? And also, you went throughout this whole thing of turning into Venom horse and Venom frog and Venom fish.
It's a good thing that Venom was not a member of the Fellowship, because he would be telling Frodo, "Let's put the ring on to trick them all. Let's do it. Let's pull a prank on them." Like Venom would be like that in the Fellowship if he was in Lord of the Rings. He would risk the whole thing.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Eddie, Eddie was like, "Well, we can't do it. We'll be tracked down." And Venom was like, "You don't let me do what I want to do." I'm like, "Fine."
Well, I hope it was worth it. Dancing with Miss Chen, and then you just gave yourself away. Oh, also here's what's really dumb. So the cockroaches, when Venom turns into his full form, they instantly know where he is. And then when they get to where he actually is, when he just turns back to Eddie, the cockroaches don't know that they're there.
Like, what the hell? Oh god.
Oh,
Like, what the
okay.
heck?
I didn't tell you this. Also, what's funny is that I'm gonna go back to the plane scene. When they're on the plane and Venom goes all full Venom, they literally, like, the cockroach just jumped from the ground 30,000 feet in the air all the way to the plane.
To the plane.
Like, I thought that was.
Told me they
like,
could have just done that any time when he changed form when he was in the casino, but they chose not to do it at that moment. They just did it. Oh, he's up there. Let's go get him. Yeah.
Those freaking stupid.
So
Oh
yeah,
my
they
God.
broke. So yeah, the cockroach broke into the penthouse and all that stuff. And then once the cockroach leaves, a helicopter comes in and it's the army guys, and he kidnapped Eddie conveniently.
And where are the army guys coming from? They just appear out of nowhere. It's like, how do they know where they are?
Oh, and mind you, Eddie did this. It's like this whole thing where he had his like those shitty Crocs on, and then he switched up to the suits, and he's like, "Man, these are some nice shoes. I'm never taking these shoes off." And then went to the penthouse. He took the shoes off. When he gets kidnapped, he looked at the shoes and goes, "My shoes!" And he got kidnapped.
Again,
So that, and it leads to them stealing the woman's sneakers. Like, it was a weird setup to me. It was weird.
again, the running gag with the shoes. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Best shoes ever.
You know, wait, are you trying to? Is he now trying to invoke Tarantino and Tarantino's foot thing?
I hope not.
Like, good lord! Like, what are they? Who are they trying to invoke in this movie?
I don't know.
Like Tarantino, Jay and Silent Bob, Transformers, Lord of the Rings, Quiet Place, Iron Man 3, like
Oh my god.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind with the Area 51 alien stuff.
Jesus Christ! It's like this is the biggest problem with these Sony movies is they're trying to be an amalgamation of other things we've already seen, but not good. So, it just doesn't make any sense. I halfway was expecting like sneaker product placement with how long they were doing that gag in the film. Like, is he gonna?
I think this it was just weird. It was weird the fact that they had that. I'm still thinking about like that weird the lady with the Christmas pin. I don't know why they made a joke about that. I don't know why that's a gag.
Yeah, I was like, I thought that was going somewhere too, but it doesn't.
Yeah, like, the lady with the Christmas pin switch her shoes. I'm like, why would you even? Okay, is that a laugh thing? I don't know. She switched her shoes, puts them in the shelf. Camera cuts to the shoes on the shelf for a split second, and then that's it. And this whole running gag about the shoes. That was a weird setup to me. That's like I forgive a lot of things in the movie. That shoe shit was a little weird. I was like, is someone getting off of this shit?
Maybe the guy sees some pleasure in it. Who knows?
Oh, Kelly, is there something you want to tell us, Kelly?
Ooh.
Uh,
But I mean, after that, we got some cool ass fight scene. Got a bunch of symbiotes kicking ass. You know, the noble sacrifice. Everybody cried in the theater. No, I'm just
Okay. Actually, Len, let's talk about that as well.
yeah.
So Venom somehow knew about the acid machine that they had, and he somehow knew that was going to be able to kill the cockroaches. And so, and also, we forgot to mention, I like the cockroaches. Like the way they kill people in this movie is actually really cool. It's really brutal. It's like when they eat them, and then like their blood and fecal matter gets like shredded from the back of their head like a lawnmower. That was pretty cool. And so they eat the symbiotes. That's what I'm getting at. The cockroaches eat the symbiotes and whatever. So Venom separates from Eddie and gathers all the cockroaches inside of him. They net him. He nets all the cockroaches inside of him. Why the cockroaches don't instantly eat him, that's whatever. But he somehow nets up all the symbiotes and drags them to the machine and has Chiwetel Ejiofor activate the acid machine, and it melts everyone. It melts Venom, and they melt the cockroaches. And I guess somehow acid melts the symbiotes as well. So okay, that's fine.
And it melted him because I think he died too, because there was an explosion after that.
Oh yeah, the explosion too. Yeah, because he could die from fire as well.
Oh boy, yeah.
So-
So Venom's dead. So I don't know what they're gonna do now.
Oh wait.
Okay, Brucifer.
There's-
Okay, hold on. Before we continue, I will acknowledge you, Brucifer. First of all, you got to be getting my saying right. It's not my life. It's my live. Get it right if you're gonna copy
This is
me.
my life.
And then, yeah, did I nitpick about American news in Mexico? Yes, because this movie is easily nitpicking because there's so many illogical things in the film. But anyway, I digress. This is not like that's not the reason why the movie sucks, but that's just something I noticed. And then Yeah, I read your chat. Okay, I acknowledge you. You good? We're good? Okay, back to the conversation. What were we going to say?
Was this ending also trying to evoke the Iron Giant with Venom making a sacrifice? I was
mean,
literally waiting for him to say, "You stay, I go," or
No.
something like that.
no following. It's like,
Or I'll
it's
be right here.
it's not goodbye forever. It's goodbye for now.
For now.
So wait, so he is coming back? Like, what are you talking about?
Watch. He'll come back in Secret Wars and be like, "We're back."
Yeah, I'm literally expecting that. I am literally.
Listen, the
expecting
best
that.
thing this movie did was for Venom to say that they're sick of this multiverse shit.
I did like that line because it was.
That's the best part of the movie because I think everyone's
I'm talking multiple shit.
Yeah, we all are. We all are.
Yeah.
And I like, I know Tom Hardy said like, oh, this is this is this is the last time he sees himself playing the character. If they throw enough money at you, I'm sure you will come back.
Since this movie opened up pretty high, Venom's not going away anytime soon.
What do you mean high? How much money did this movie make so far?
$185 million opening weekend.
What the hell, people? Why are you doing this? Why?
Let's see. Hold on. Let me go. I don't know if you saw the box office. Okay, so let's see. Venom: The Last Dance opened with $51 million domestically, with $124 million internationally, with a grand total of $175 million opening weekend. So currently, right now, 185.
And I just want to put this into perspective. How much did Transformers 1 make opening weekend?
Okay, you want to go that route? Okay.
Yes, we're going that route. I just
Alright.
want to see how
Alright.
sad this is.
This is the can't be a classroom. Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about the Transformers 1?
Yes.
Oh, the animated one. I keep thinking.
Yes, the better movie. Yes.
Oh.
These titles are weird.
This one was 1 is a 10 out of 10, man. Oh.
Do you want me to say it?
Yes. I just want people to think about this. Think about this.
We cry. Transformers 1 in this opening weekend made $24.6 million.
And like
Worldwide, 125.
I swear to God, it's gonna happen. But I swear to God, if you give more money to this film than Transformers 1, I am losing all hope for society. I really am. And let's go back. Let's go back to similar territory because, like, I know people don't like when I compare stuff like this. Let's go back to in-house. Please look up how much did Across the Spider-Verse make opening weekend?
Ooh, all right, let's see. Across the Spider-Verse. Let's see. Let's go and take a look. See, Box Office Mojo. Across the Spider-Verse opened up with $120 million.
Worldwide, how much did it make?
$690 million. Pretty good. Pretty great. Amazing.
Pretty good.
Anyway.
Really good box office. But I'm saying this right now because I'm not putting it past these Venom fans. If this movie makes more money, I'm talking about. I am sick of being nice. We are 5 movies into the Sony Spider-Man universe, and it sucks. If this movie makes more money than Across the Spider-Verse, you should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm so sorry. Y'all should be ashamed. Come on now. Y'all like seeing Venom Horse, Venom Frog, and Venom Fish more than Miles Morales. I don't.
I mean, we're talking like domestic. I mean, this is internationally. Like, they bulk up the entire freaking money. So, like, it did open up low, but that's still like $51 million. That's still more money than Joker 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Joker 2.
Let's be honest. I think this movie deserves slightly more money than Joker 2.
Yeah, I agree with that.
At least this movie was entertaining in a dumb way. Like Joker 2, just like I've never seen a movie hate itself so much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Joker 2 opened with like 37 million. That's still more than Transformers 1, but that's just me. Oh.
And of course, this movie thought the franchise was prominent enough to have a montage at the end of Eddie
Here's
and
to the ones
Venom's
that we
moment.
got. Here's to the
Oh.
ones that we do.
Yeah.
You know what? I like the
I
soundtrack.
actually did see that ending, and I will say I actually did like that song.
You know what? I did like the ending, but it's like the franchise thinks it's that big to have that kind of moment.
Yeah, it's
It
trying to
was
have like a
more-
sentimental moment, going
See,
flashbacks throughout
wasn't-
the entire
I didn't
film.
No, and once
didn't-
it's trying to be like Deadpool and Wolverine with the credits.
Nah,
I didn't feel like, dude.
it
I
ain't
was
gonna
just
be
watching
like
it.
Wolverine. Hell
Well,
no.
first of all, I thought it was kind of funny the fact that the song just that it played that song. It's like that threw me off a little because I love that fucking song.
Yeah, Maroon
And
5.
then-
I love Maroon
it-
5.
It played that song and then it's like they just plays a montage from the movies and it's like I didn't feel anything. I was just kind of just watching. I was like, I'm mostly just like vibing with the song. But it was just
Dreams
weird.
bring back all
for-
memories
for something
of
like-
everything we've been through.
It was for something like Venom. I was like, oh, okay, okay.
It's like it was a great trilogy.
Hold on, but
You
I just
know,
want to say
oh,
this
sure,
song would have
sure,
worked better
yes.
for the ending of No Way Home, because
Yeah.
no one has memories of Peter Parker except Peter Parker.
They came up.
Right.
Like,
So
Yeah.
that would have fit more so for the ending of No Way Home with Peter Parker having a montage of all his memories with all his friends that his friends now have forgotten. That would have made more sense in this
They came up-
movie.
but,
I
Yeah.
agree.
But George, like Venom and Eddie came a long way, man. Like they had 6 years of great adventures.
So did Peter
together.
Parker and his friends, and like
I just, what is like this?
I just like I like the way it ended ironically, but it was just funny.
I mean, listen, I did feel bad for Eddie Brock at the end. I felt bad for Venom.
I mean, I like how it just ended with him with the Statue of Liberty. He's like, I won't forget you, buddy. I was like, okay, that was satisfying.
Of course,
that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. I will
Sorry.
admit.
Another way to mislead the audience.
What an amazing trilogy, right? Like this is one of the like think of the trilogies that we have gotten throughout the years, right? We got Lord of the Rings, Back to the Future.
Toy Story. Well, it's a quadrilogy now, but
Yeah.
Well, I'll throw in Toy Story. Toy Story, Madagascar.
Madagascar,
Two
God,
Spider-Man trilogies, the Home trilogy and the Raimi trilogy.
Raimi trilogy,
the Dark Knight trilogy,
the Dark
Yeah,
Knight
Dark Knight
trilogy,
trilogy.
and then
Planet-
Venom.
the Planet of the Apes trilogy, and now we have Venom.
Add this. And Big Mama's house.
Big
Three
Mama.
Star Wars trilogies.
Yep, that's true.
The Godfather
Venom too.
trilogy. Well, actually, no, part 3 wasn't that good, but
Yeah.
What a
Yeah,
great
now-
trilogy, man. Just six years of amazing adventures with friends.
Oh God.
we are Venom.
It's crazy how Venom got a trilogy before any DCEU film.
Oh
My
my.
God.
Yeah, let's just rub salt on that wound.
So hold on. I just realized that Henry Cavill won't get a trilogy, but Venom does.
Venom gets one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Ben Affleck doesn't even get one Batman movie.
Nope. Wonder Woman can't even get her third movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, luckily we have a new regime where they will fix those mistakes in James Gunn. And we're getting another Batman trilogy in Matt Reeves' Goat Peak Batman universe, baby.
Yeah. So there's hope on the horizon. Hopefully.
Yes.
And is there anything? I think we kind of say everything about it.
Yeah, I mean, we already talked about the credit scene, the mid-credit scene. Obviously, Snow being like, "I will got." It's literally Thanos in the mid credit scene of Age of Ultron. Fine, I'll do it myself. That's literally what that is. I'm just like, which we'll probably never see, but there it is.
All this did was basically make the case that that Marvel and Disney need the Spider-Man rights.
Yeah, but Sony will never give it up.
No,
and I do.
It makes them too much money. Like honestly, like Sony. I still think it's such a strange. As much as I like these Venom films, I like some of the other stuff. It's still crazy to me how I know there's different people in Sony, but how do you come out with Across the Spider-Verse and a year later you came out with Madam Web?
It's the creatives behind it.
I know
because remember.
It's a rhetorical question, but still, it's just weird to me that you have something like Sony, mind you, that Avi Arad is a co-producer on the Spider-Verse films, mind you, and it came out as GOAT as they are.
Yeah. Well, honestly, the thing is, when it comes to like this whole thing with like Marvel Studios and Sony, I'm just like, I said this before in this stream, I'm gonna repeat myself. The only way at this point where Feige, like if Feige is interested in taking back the Spider-Man rights, the only way how Sony is gonna give him up is if Feige just brings out the big guns and he puts his foot down and he's like, look, hey, we gave you those rights. You don't give it back to us. We're going to bring out the big guns and you're going to face some consequences you're not going to like. Unless he does something like that, or he goes to the Sony headquarters with a sniper rifle and he's like, we're getting those fucking rights back. And he just...
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've said before, the only way I see them getting the rights back is they literally have to wait for Sony to crash and burn with Spider-Man. Like it has to be not only do bad critically, but it has to stop making the money. That's the only way I can see it happening. It's like they have to wait and see if they they have to wait and see if Sony will continue to fail with Spider-Man. That's the only way. That's how the other stuff came to be. That's how so.
Well, I just never understand this whole universe that they're doing because they're playing footsie with Marvel. Okay, they're saying, okay, let's get a piece of the pie from the MCU. Let's make our own movie. See if Feige can actually approve. Like, but what are you even trying to do? It's like we make these movies, Kevin. We want your approval. That's
like they don't want Kevin Feige's approval.
That's what they feel like. It's like they want to be like, oh yeah, I want to be a part of this shit. But in terms of just something like Madam Web, which was just you don't even know what the fuck. You don't know
what that was.
Oh god. Well, yeah. Again, it's either going to be the option like you said, Sony crash and burn, or Feige's going to pull out some big guns and he's gonna just him and Marvel Studios are gonna take the rights back themselves. How, you may ask, I don't know, but if they do want to do it, I think they're gonna do whatever it takes to get those rights back at this point, if they do plan on getting them back.
Well, let's be honest. Like because here's another thing: if they really wanted the rights to Spider-Man, they probably Disney could have gave them enough money to buy it from Sony. But the reality of the situation is like, because even going back to when he first made his appearance in Civil War, if they really wanted Spider-Man back, they could have just ponied up the money and tried to make an offer to them. But they don't really need Spider-Man in the MCU because they already have a universe established with a whole bunch of other characters that are successful. Like Spider-Man was just an icing on the cake for them.
That is true. That is true. But I'm just saying though, if they want it to be easier though to eventually get that Spider-Man and Venom conflict, Tom Holland Spider-Man versus Venom, please let it be voiced by someone like the person who voiced Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2, because that guy is the freaking GOAT. That would be amazing. And the MCU was kind of building up to that in the post-credit scene for No Way Home, but I'm just saying, I feel like if Feige really like does want to do it, he's gonna do whatever it takes and pull out the big guns to do it.
Yep. And my final thing about saying about Sony and stuff, I think I said this before on other streams. What Sony should have done is just you can scrap these Sonyverse films and just make these Miles Morales movies your go-to. If Sony wants to make Spider-Man films consistently, get Sony Animation, have them make their mainline Spider-Man films. They're good, they make money, and they're planning on doing spin-offs. If you make them consistently good and they make consistent money, while your Tom Holland films are making consistent money and they're good, best of both worlds. But Sony's overcompensating themselves.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm just saying, like, Sony Animation, they keep up this consistent banger after banger of what they're doing with their Spider-Verse movies. They keep doing that, then okay, I can understand why Marvel Studios is like, okay, we'll let them continue doing with what they're doing because those are good. I can understand that part, but if not, if they eventually do stop doing that, then yeah, man, like then it's gonna have to be like, look, then I think that's when Marvel Studios is gonna be like, okay, look, we're coming up with this stuff with ours. Sony Animation already did good stuff with that. Now we want to do what we've been teasing for a bit. We want to do it, and it has to be done with getting these rights to us, because that way we don't have to deal with any conflictions with you, Sony. That's what I think is going to happen if the Spider-Verse movies, if Sony Animation does conclude their Spider-Verse movies. With Beyond the Spider-Verse, who knows what's going to happen with that, if the spin-offs are going to come before or after Beyond.
Also, there's another wrench in there that Mama Bear brought up, actually, that I know they're thinking about having a live-action Miles Morales.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. That, because I'm telling you right now, that is something that that a lot of people want in the MCU, and Miles Morales in the MCU, getting that dynamic between him and Peter, eventually seeing a passing of the torch from Peter to Miles, that's going to be cool to eventually see. So it's just like, if these conflictions between Marvel Studios and Sony continue, then Feige and Marvel Studios just need to they got to put the foot down at some point, because this is just going to become a very big problem, especially when we get into the reboot, if this is still going on with between these two studios. So,
well, it will really become, like I said, it will really become a problem if whatever Sony's doing with their films is affecting the storytelling of the Tom Holland stuff.
Yes, exactly.
So it just really depends how that's going to go from this point forward. And like I said, I don't think that Marvel Studios is really desperate to get the full rights to Spider-Man yet. Like I said, now
as of right now,
on the other spectrum, if, like, for instance, if let's say Doomsday and Secret Wars and Fantastic Four and X-Men don't work out the way they want it to, that
would be a disaster, especially for X-Men. Oh,
that would be a disaster. Like in that scenario, I could see them being desperate to get Spider-Man back.
Well, yeah, definitely there, but especially Doomsday, because I told you this before back in the Loki season 2 stream, is that Avengers 5 needs to be a hit, not Secret Wars, but Avengers 5, to show that they don't need any nostalgia, cameos or anything like that to make the film great. Just like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, for example. They didn't need nostalgia. It was a great movie. They need to do the same thing with Avengers Doomsday. No cameos. I mean, I'm not going to be mad if there are cameos, but it needs to focus on this new Avengers team, and it needs to be good, and it needs to save the cameo stuff for Secret Wars. If you can tell a good story without any of that, then that's going to give hope that, okay, Marvel Studios hasn't completely lost it. They still have they still got a little bit of their act still intact within the MCU. If not, then Avengers Doomsday is going to be the epitome of failure and the shell of what the MCU has become. And Secret Wars is going to be the only thing that's going to save it.
It's already like they're already putting themselves in an uphill battle because they casted Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom,
and it was a mistake replacing him with Kang. By the way, just getting rid of Kang like that. I said this before. That is gonna a little time to build up Doctor Doom right now, buddy. If you wanted to do Doctor Doom, you could have had him in Avengers 5 with Kang, but nope. They made him the villain of both Avengers movies, which is way too soon now because. It's just way too quick because Kang, you're already building him up. They really put themselves in the corner with this whole Kang situation and then bringing in Doctor Doom. It's like you could have had both. Avengers 5 is about Kang, then the end of Avengers 5, make it Secret Wars with Doom as the villain. That's all you had to do. But then they did this completely different thing, which is just like, why? Why waste Kang like that before the fifth Avengers film?
Well, if Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania didn't happen.
Well, yeah, that too. But I'm just saying, just in general with what happened with everything else too. It's just like there's a thing known as redemption, a thing known as character redemption that you could have done with Kang.
Hey, I'll be right back. I'm still gonna be on the stream, but I'm just gonna help my brother a little bit. But I'll be right back. I'll make you long.
You're good, bro.
Okay. Yeah, we're almost.
The issue I have with Sony, it's like the thing is like they throw stuff against the wall to see what sticks because, like, I remember there were rumors they wanted to do like a Sandman and Rhino movie at one point, the Silver Sable Black Cat movie, Mysterio was gonna get a movie. It was like all these characters were just gonna get movies out of nowhere. And I don't know if like before Midnight's Edge lost their minds, like when they used to actually cover good rumors and scoops, like some of the things that they said Sony allegedly wanted to do for their original Amazing Spider-Man universe, it was like, good lord, this is like obnoxious of a schedule they had. Like they wanted to do a live action Spider-Man 2099 movie that would be like the reverse of Captain America: The First Avenger.
Okay.
Like they wanted to do all this weird stuff that's just to hold on. I feel like they're just making movies to hold on to the rights because I think it's live action movies that they gotta make.
Yeah, it's like that's once again animated stuff treated like second-class citizens. It's like if they really cared about that Spider-Verse stuff, like they would put more resources into that, but no.
And here's the thing, I think Sony's intentionally making movies on their villains so that way the MCU doesn't use these villains. Because when people rather see Kraven in an MCU Spider-Man movie than his own silly movie. Here's the thing, regardless of whenever Blade's going to come into the MCU, wouldn't we rather see Morbius in a Spider-Man Blade crossover movie in the MCU than Morbius getting his own movie?
Yep.
Wouldn't we rather see, especially in a post-No Way Home world, Spider-Man getting the black suit, meeting a version of Eddie Brock, and then like that version of Eddie Brock getting the black suit in a true Spider-Man versus Venom confrontation?
Yes, wouldn't it be cool to actually have a scenario where Madam Web brings Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire to fight along Tom Holland Spider-Man? That actually would have been cool too.
Or like they can do like live action. You guys ever heard of the what was it? Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, I think the video game was.
Yeah.
That was such a fun game in the early 2010s where Madam Web brought in, Spider-Man, brought in 2099 Spider-Man, Spider-Man Noir, Ultimate Spider-Man before he would eventually get killed off. Like that was a fun game. It's like, why not have Madam Web like just be in the MCU and be like the force that kind of connects the Spider-Man multiverse?
Yeah.
Like, why do this movie that doesn't even feel like a comic book movie? Like,
no, it doesn't.
It feels like something that Freeform and the CW produced at their lowest.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe they had good ideas, but the good ideas got scrapped.
I really don't know, man.
I
I
don't
really
know.
just Sony just, which is why, man, it's like when it comes to the villains getting their own movies, which is why they can't be used in the MCU. That's why I'm just saying, man, like it'd be. I really hope Marvel Studios does eventually make the decision to get these rights from Sony. If they're not going to do Sony anime, if they eventually do stop doing goated Sony animation stuff. But I mean, as of right now, though, man, it's like
Okay, I'm back.
right now
Cool.
they're doing their own thing with Sony Animation. So let them keep that. Let them do their own thing with that. But once they finish and we just have this live action garbage Sony verse, then that's when I hope Marvel Studios comes in and Feige puts the foot down and just says we're taking these rights back because we
I feel like
gotta do them.
Sony also needs to recognize. I mean, I get it. You want to hold on to the rights, but it's like at this point you're kind of throwing away money.
Exactly.
And don't get me wrong, Sony has other franchises that are good that will make money. You know,
But it's the
Ghostbusters
Spider-Man franchise that's keeping them.
Yeah,
That's what's
and it's
making
like the
most
thing
money.
is, it's like at a certain point, like you can't just rely on Spider-Man making a lot of money. Like as more MCU Spider-Man movies come by, Disney's gonna get more of that profit as each movie comes by because it used to be Sony getting a lot of the profit. No Way Home, I think, started the trend of them starting to get more money, Marvel Studios and Disney.
Yeah.
So it's like they got to be mindful that they can't rely on MCU Spider-Man movies forever. Like, what if, let's say, Spider-Man 4 doesn't make $1 billion worldwide, even if it's a good movie?
Oh, that's they're gonna be looking at that, and be like,
Like, there's a good
uh-oh.
chance that movie could make $800 million, which is still pretty good, but there's no guarantee it's going to make No Way Home money.
Dude, the last two
Yeah,
made
I
$1
mean-
billion. The last two made $1 billion.
Yeah. So it's like okay, here's the thing. Like Spider-Man 4, it doesn't have to make $1 billion. It has to like make just a good amount of money. That's it at the end of the day. At least it makes good money and it's profitable. And the story's good.
Yeah, that's all we could hope for.
Yep.
But I know for certain that Disney and Sony will be looking at Spider-Man 4 being like, what went wrong? Because especially because not only did the previous two make, I think those are the Far From Home and No Way Home were the first Spider-Man films to make $1 billion, and No Way Home specifically was one of the highest grossing films of that year.
Nearly made $2 billion.
Huh?
Nearly made $2 billion.
Freaking exactly. So like, there's going to be something going on in the back of their mind. Sony and Disney being like, "What went wrong here? If it doesn't make at least close to $1 billion, if not actually $1 billion, like what went wrong?"
But it's like the thing is, Sony's other franchises like Ghostbusters, Karate Kid, like they don't make the big money like Spider-Man. So it's like you gotta be like mindful that at a certain point your audience is gonna get sick and tired of watching these Sony movies. And no matter how much money their other franchises make, that's not gonna get them back the money they lost on Morbius, on Madam Web.
Yeah. Yep.
So like they gotta be mindful of that.
Right. It's like, as you said, the other IPs that Sony is making it's not doing it. It's like, Men in Black is like DOA right now. Ghostbusters is underperforming, even though I liked Frozen Empire, but it's not the cash cow that they wanted it to be. 21 Jump Street, what are they doing with that? Nothing. I guess they do kind of have Bad Boys, but like that's not going to last forever.
Bad Boys. Yeah, that's not gonna last forever.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like even when they make good movies, they're not movies that are gonna make $1 billion worldwide though. Like, yeah, I like the new Bad Boy movies, but they're not gonna break ground for box office success.
Nope. So
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, Spider-Man, has always been and probably will always be their cash cow.
Yeah. Oh boy. I just hope whatever happens with Spider-Man 4 that it's if Spider-Man 4 somehow is bad, it's not because of the conflict between Marvel Studios and Sony. Because if it's because of that conflict, then oh man, then I'm telling you that is going to be like Feige's going to be like, fuck what you're doing, give us back the rights now, bitch.
Well, Tom Holland recently did say that they finished the script and he seems pretty good with it.
I did hear about that, which that is a little comforting to hear. That is a little
Especially because like Tom Holland is making it clear that he's only coming back if they have like a great story. He doesn't want to come back for the sake of, hey, we're gonna do another movie.
Right. Which is another thing I do like about Tom Holland, because he will come back if the story's good, because he knows what we want. He knows we want good storytelling.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else y'all want to mention about this movie before we start closing it out?
As I said a few times already, it is better than Joker 2. Like, it's more entertaining, and it's kind of like the expectation isn't as high with this. So, I mean, if you're gonna watch a comic book movie that came out in October, I think Venom: The Last Dance is the one to watch. But hopefully November we got some upcoming movies that will be a lot better than these two disappointments.
Yeah, and hopefully Captain America: Brave New World is at least really good, coming out of Deadpool and Wolverine when it comes to the MCU movie side of things. Fingers crossed.
All right, I'm fully back.
Fully
back.
But as MJ said in No Way Home, expect disappointment and you'll never be disappointed.
Yeah, that is
that is true.
So,
well, I'm gonna start going to grades now. Overall, yeah, it's probably the most entertaining of the three, but I still didn't think this was a good movie. I still thought this was wasted potential with the Venom character. Yeah, and as I said it from the beginning, like I'm not even like Venom is not even my favorite Spider-Man villain. So there's definitely no bias for me when it comes to
the real villain of Spider-Man is and always will be Green Goblin.
Yeah. But even so, it's like there's so much stuff they could have done with Venom that was better than what they conjured up with these films, man. It's just I don't understand the decision making, and I've gone past the point of, oh, this is not like the comics. Oh, Spider-Man's not in it. It's just like the storytelling is not good to me. The logic in these films don't make a lot of sense. The characters aren't even that likable. They're not that interesting. I don't like Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock. I don't like him. Like, it's not. I can't even at this point. I can't even say it's like it's an improvement from Topher Grace, because they both are bad in different ways. Yeah, Venom looks more like the comics, but that's all I can give it really at this point. It's like they don't really go in depth with the symbiotes, really. Like nothing that's very like interesting, nothing that's like that we haven't seen done better in other iterations. And it's just with them try to set up Null too, just felt like a waste. Like what were they going to do with it? What is their plan with that? It doesn't feel like they did have a plan. And them trying to end the trilogy with this end it with this film, it's just like it doesn't feel fulfilling. It just felt like they're just ending it just because Tom Hardy doesn't want to do anymore, which I don't blame him at this point. But like I said, I would not be surprised if they throw enough money at him to have him come back in like Secret Wars or make a brief appearance in the fourth Spider-Man movie. I don't even know. I don't even care.
If he does appear in the Sonyverse, I said this before. I'll say this again. Please bring in the voice actor who voiced Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Please bring that dude in. He's got the voice. That would be such a crime if they didn't, because
Tony Todd.
yes, Tony Todd. Thank you. Yes, bring him into the MCU to voice Venom. If you're gonna have, if Venom is gonna be still in the MCU, and we're gonna get that Spider-Man face-off between him and Tom Holland Spider-Man, please do that. Please bring Tony Todd to voice Venom. He was fucking incredible in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Please do that, Marvel Studios. Don't listen to Sony. You do it. It's in the MCU. You do it. Do that, Marvel Studios, please. I'm begging you.
At this point, I'm just hoping that they could just get a voice that fits Venom. Like, it doesn't have to be Tony Todd. It would be nice if it's Tony Todd, but
someone like him. Someone like him
at least. Like, I just pray that that they do, if they are going to bring a different version of Venom, just be better than what we've gotten, and not the freaking Tom Hardy doing a Jim Carrey Grinch impression trying to be Venom. Like,
Dancing Queen.
Dancing Queen, all that stuff. This, like, these movies are so goofy. And like, am I expecting, like, let me like make this clear. Am I expecting Venom to be a super serious character the whole time? No. Of course I know that Venom, like, it has its silly moments, has his, he has his witty stuff about him, but like, it's just so goofy to the point where, like, I barely could take him seriously. Like, and it's like there's tonal whiplash everywhere. It's like he's an alien from another planet that eats people, and like it's like he's doing goofy crap like dancing with Mrs. Chen and talking about eating chocolate and playing with the gambling at the casino and all. Like, what am I watching here? You would tell NJ4 was a waste in here, didn't need to be here. The weird thing with the female scientist, with the backstory, with the brother and the lightning, I didn't understand that. The family, I really want to claw my eyes out. With the family, why are we doing this? It's like, no, I didn't like at all. It's like, I hope this is the last movie, and if this is the last movie, all I can say is freaking hallelujah. It's over. But one other positive I will say, which has nothing to do with the movie itself, but going back to the end credits, there was this really cool song in the end credits with Caesar Face and Method Man called Null and Void. I really like that song. They still haven't dropped it on Apple Music or Spotify or anything like that. I don't know why they don't have that song yet. I was looking for that song for the past few days. Drop the freaking song! Why is it not on the soundtrack? I was like, that brought me back to some Wu-Tang shit. Like, that was cool. But anyway, I'm gonna give Venom The Last Dance. It's a D+. It's a D+. And that's the best I can give it. It's still a bad movie. Is it better than the previous two? Sure, but still not good. This is not a good trilogy. I don't want to think about this ever again.
Yeah.
All right, Blue Jay.
I liked it. Just kind of like the other two films. I mean, they're not better, they're not worse. They're just stupid, dumb fun. And sure, I can point out a lot of dumb shit that happened in the movie. You can't really ignore everything in the movie. I mean, I like Transformers. I mean, I could put out some dumb shit in there. It's stupid fucking shit. Come on. So, but yes, there are points where the movie can get pretty meandering, and some parts where it can get stupid, like the family going to this Area 51 base willy-nilly. That was just weird. But the action was cool. The final battle was fun. The comedy, for Venom being Venom, the dancing queen. Sure, yes, it set up was stupid, but it was the scene itself I did get a kick out of. But all in all, if it's the last movie, hooray! A good hurrah, I guess. I don't think that's the last one. I mean, it's Hollywood. there's no such thing as a final film in 2024. Now,
Unfortunately.
I don't even think about Spider-Verse because I know I want to have a good trilogy. They're gonna make more, at least spin-off wise. So yeah, I'll give this a 6. I'll give this a 6. Above average. It's fun. It's nothing too groundbreaking, but it's a good time.
All right, George.
As I said, this is the definition of a mixed bag. I do enjoy Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock / Venom. I like the banter. When the action happens, the action's entertaining. I did enjoy the third act of this movie in comparison to the third act of Joker, which really infuriated me, that third act.
I'm like, what
And
third
it's
act?
dumb fun that, I had a lot of fun with, but it felt like the Venom trilogy overall was just a wasted potential where there was some good ideas, but there was terrible execution. And, as epic and cool as Noel looks, I feel like Noel's going to get wasted. So I'm going to give this movie around a C.
Okay. Darkness, you don't get to give it a grade because you haven't seen it.
give it a 9.
But no, if anything, like from what I've heard, this is getting a 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. Do the math. 2 out of 5. It's probably around. It's probably around that, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm still looking for Craven. Craven look kinda
Nope,
cool.
nope. You're not tricking me again.
Good Lord.
6
Oh, good
times.
Lord.
6 times.
Hold on, watch Craven the Hunter be the best of Sonyverse and flop at the box that was like Transformers 1.
Oh,
You know what?
That would be crazy.
I'm supposed to believe Craven, who literally eats people and is a cannibal, for some reason, is supposed to be a good movie. Oh God, good Lord,
I'd be like a 93% Rotten Tomatoes good.
oh God, I really want to know what to. I
It
really
would have
wanna-
it would have a higher rating than Deadpool, Wolverine, and all the comic book movies that came out this year. That'd be funny.
If that happens, if
Yeah.
that happens, I am retiring from YouTube. If this gets a higher rating than all that, no, I can't believe. I don't think it's gonna happen. I do.
It's not. It's not. Hey, Craven ain't gonna beat the Penguin.
Now that will be a shock.
It's not beating the Penguin. Over my dead body, is it gonna beat it?
We'll see. Let's see. Well, that is our thoughts on Venom: The Last Dance. It's over.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's over. But tell us, what did
now.
you for
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, you guys tell us out there. What did you guys?
Spider-Man villain team up movie?
You
No.
want that to happen so bad.
Just,
Oh my God.
just
I
enough.
want. If that happens, I want you to buy. I want to see you film yourself, buy a ticket, go to the theater, sit in the theater, and watch this movie happen. Come back to DL's live and say this movie's dog shit. It's all my fault, guys.
Yeah. Well, no, I just want it to happen so I can see Sony just ultimately shut down.
That's
We messed
petty.
up, guys.
That's petty. Wow.
Because at this point, like that's what Sony's doing. They mess up a lot.
Anyways,
Anyway, tell us out there, what did you guys think about the movie? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? How does it compare to the previous 2 Venom films? How does it compare to the other Sony Spider-Man universe movies? Do you guys want Tom Hardy's Venom to come back? Do you think he's going to come back? Do you want to see him in Spider-Man 4? Do you want to see him in Secret Wars? Or you just want to leave it alone? Because I certainly want to leave it alone, but we'll see what happens. Comment your
Yeah,
thoughts
we'll
down
see.
below and let us know. So, Yeah, the next Sony project we'll talk about, unfortunately, is Kraven the Hunter. So tune in for that when it comes out.
That's
Can't
gonna
wait
be
for him to eat feces.
watch that movie. Watch the movie. Have a good review.
Rhino's gonna look uglier than Doomsday. I guarantee it.
Oh,
Doomsday from BVS.
You guys remember the Rhino in the Amazing Spider-Man 1 game?
yes.
He's gonna look like that. He's gonna look
Oh,
like that.
Uh,
Pretty bad.
Honestly, I like Paul Giamatti's one better. Is that bad to say?
Oh, you like that, huh? You like?
I mean, I like the armor. I don't know about Paul Giamatti because I didn't movie that much, but I like the armor. It looked cool. But, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind robotic suit Rhino for the people that are complaining, because this is like the ultimate Spider-Man Rhino, you know, because like he was a metal suit in the comics with that too, but whatever. Go see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this live stream, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of you that watch a bunch of my content and have not subscribed to the channel. Just please do that. It's free. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell if you want to be notified on future videos I'll be doing. You don't forget to subscribe to Blue Jay's channel, Blue Cinema. Subscribe to the George's channel. Darkness, I don't know if he has anything.
I have a YouTube channel. Yes.
Oh, okay. Is it called Darkness Under the Wind?
Yes.
Okay, subscribe to Darkness Under the Wind as well. And then
It's just Darkness Under the Wind. Type it in anywhere on YouTube, it's gonna come up.
Yep. Next, I'll try. We'll see what happens. Sometime next week we'll do a plan a spoiler stream for Agatha All Along. If not, relatively soon, and then also do a spoiler stream for the Penguin when that is over.
No, Penguin. Oh, fucking loving that show so far, man. I can't wait. I can't wait for the finale and to see how that show ends and leads into the Batman Part 2, baby.
Mm-hmm. And a bunch of other stuff coming out in November. So looking forward to all of that. But yeah, that is all we have for you Venom fans. That's all we have for you Venom.
My day.
Yeah, turds in the wind. But yeah, that's all we have for you, and we will catch you guys next time. Talk to you guys later.
Peace.